So I have a little Japanese town in my plot, and I think the next best build I can add to this place is a ramen shop. Basic, I know, but it's a staple, so who cares? I want a little ramen bowl on the roof, lots of warm lighting, an old wooden traditional look. It has two floors, of course, and those little flimsy cloth things. I don't know what they're called, so don't come at me. So this is basically the overall layout I'm going for. Wall time! Anyways, this is gonna be the platform where all the magic happens. Time for the second floor. Don't mind this roof cause I'm a really indecisive builder and I will be changing up a lot of stuff halfway. But anyways, the reference picture I'll be using are these. But I'm mainly gonna use this one as my exterior reference because I'm dog water at the exterior. And now I just need to copy and paste these like few times, I think. Anyways, I'm done pasting it, so it's time to make it thick. And again, copy and paste it a few times around the corners, and then you're done. Okay, since there weren't any pocket doors, I had to improvise and make my own. And then it was time to color the walls and door. As I said before, I'm indecisive, so I changed the roof. But to explain why I changed it was because I feel like the traditional Japanese roofs had more of a thicker and jutted outlook, if you know what I mean. Okay, so looking back at the reference picture, the window seems to be open without any metal grills, so I'm leaving this one empty. Anyways, this part is mostly detailing on the windows, so montage time! Anyways, now that we're done with the window part, it's time for the main event, which is the front of the building. Anyways, this is the main area of the whole build because the sitting area, the front counter, the cooking area as well is gonna be here. So, we gotta make it beautiful. And beautiful it did become. Look at this! The building process was a bit too boring, so this is all you get. Anyways, remember how I was
was talking about the flimsy cloths thingy majiggies. I don't know what's called, but I'm too lazy to remake it, so I'm just stealing it from my other build. And I'm also kinda lazy to remake the lantern, so I'm stealing it from another build again. Yay! Anyways, I resized everything so it would fit in the window and wouldn't block the view or anything, so yeah. Anyways, back to the reference picture. I'm picking this thing out. I don't know what it's called, but I'm putting it on the side of the building. That's all I gotta say. Boom, magic. Look how fast I did it. Anyways, back to the reference picture again. This takoyaki kind of reminded me of something I could put on the roof. Put on the roof, which is my favorite part of this build, making a ramen bowl. Yeah. So like there weren't any upside down spheres that I could use, so I had to design the bowl upside down first. And then after turning the bowl upside down, I had to make the ramen part, which was kind of annoying, but I did anyways. And then I stabbed the ramen with chopsticks. Yeah. And it was time to give the building a little life. Nothing more, nothing less. Just a little, okay? Okay! Didn't mean to scare you there, but I did add a pipe. These stilt thingies, crown moldings, warm lighting, some windows at the back, some stuff on the windowsill, some handy dandy clutter, some seating, a menu and a mat. Anyways, the interior is kinda boring, so montage number 2. After that, I kinda had to cook out the ramen bowls. So yeah. And then after that, I decided it was time to put the ramen bowl on top of the roof. So I did. And then I put a side door onto the building so you can exit. And then I thought, oh, what's a restaurant without a dumpster behind the building, am I right? Add a few trash bags, dirt, graffiti, and you're done. And then I gave the side of the building a little sewage situation to make it more realistic, if you know what I mean. And then a little electrical wiring on the side as well. And then I also added a little platform on the side of the building so I can put some extra tables and seatings around. So, more customers, more money. And then I thought, oh, what better way to make the ramen bowl look hot and steamy than putting a fog machine to give it that effect? So I did. And to make it even more realistic, I added some flower bags onto the floor of the building inside. And then I also added a little flower situation on the floor to make it even more realistic. Yeah. I also added a little plastic baggie because if I'm not wrong, the wet markets use plastic baggies. So then I started working on the ramen bowls. It was kind of annoying because I had to make so many bowls, meaning I had to cook so many bowls as well. But it looked great at the end, so no complaints here. It is time for the last space to design, which is the upstairs of the ramen shop. I made a long table like that because kinda noticed how the Japanese people loved eating in solidarity. So yeah. And then I put out these little bottles to act as the condiment bottles. And this may look a little funny because it looks like a blue little honey pot, but it is meant to be a toothpick holder if it wasn't obvious enough. And then I wanted the ramen shop to be a no shoe zone, so I made a little shoe rack for the customers to put their shoes at. Then it was time to spam decals and posters around the place. And then I wanted to give the place actual decent looking lighting, so I made a few lanterns to be hung up on the beams so it could look aesthetic. Thick. And then I don't know why I made this board, but I did it because of aesthetic purposes. Then I added a tiny neon open sign because once again, aesthetic purposes. Then I added more warm lighting. Now for the outside, I made a little seating area because once again, aesthetic purposes. Then I gave it a little greenery because I love touching grass. Then I had to change the decals off camera. So, and then the finishing touches. And time for the big reveal. Yeah.